Hey y'all, Natalie here, and today I'm doing another 80/20 series with my friend Sara Scraps, and this one is going to be fall themed. I have this whole box called Fall, and I have all these supplies in it, and so I decided to bring them out and use them. Most of this stuff is pretty old, so yeah, it's going to be fun to go through. So I'm just showing you what all it is. That's like an old pocket letter somebody sent me. So I'm just showing you all of the things that that I pulled out of the box to think about using. And then I'm definitely going to use those. Those are my starting point. They're these wood veneer letters from like the Target $3 spot or whatever. So those are going to be my starting point. And they don't stick to the plastic, but they stuck to one another. So I had to pull them all apart. But I like the way that pumpkin looked in the corner of that photo to hide kind of the yucky stuff in the background of the photo. So that's where we're going to stick it. And I gesso up this polka dot embossed cardstock. It's like a light beige color. And I'm going to use my stencil as a stamp. So I get out 3 kind of maroon colored sprays from my Shimmers collection, because my granny and myself in the photo are wearing that color. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. And I just spray the stencil, and I am going to use my paper or my paper towel there to wipe off the edges, because I don't want like this hard line of the ink on the edge of the very hard line stencil. I want it more organic. So I wipe that off, and then I just kind of smush it onto the page. And there you can see the stencil outline, but it's not super defined. And that's where I was going for, like an organic, really pretty flowy watercolor look. So I'm going to kind of refill my stencil, put more ink on it. And this time I'm going to use it a couple different times to stamp down. So I get one more of the crisper image, even though it's not super crisp. And then I just kind of spread the color around on the rest of the page with the remaining ink. And I just like the little hint of the pattern that I'm getting on the rest of the page. And now it's going to dry like magic. Now, and I'm really happy with how that looks. So I'm going to put my photo right in the middle of the page. There are 5 of us in the photo. So I printed it 4x6, which is usually larger than I typically use on my layouts. But I wanted us to all stand out. My granny passed away earlier this year, well, last month really, and so I wanted to do this photo that I had found of us from Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and kind of do a page about her. It was a photo that I knew I hadn't scrapped yet, and I wanted to get it done. So she was my boys' great-great-grandmother, y'all, so that's very special that they got to know her. So I inked up the edges of that paper from Amy Tangerine and roughed it up as well. And now I'm going to stick everything down, or kind of figure out where I want everything, I guess. It's frustrating because those wood veneers wouldn't stick to the plastic, but they stuck to the photo. Luckily, that was where I was going to put that pumpkin, because it totally stuck to the photo and like left a residue and almost like ripped the picture. But I'm going to ensure that I use my Nuvo adhesive to stick it down, because I do want to make sure that it sticks forever. And plus there's gesso on that background, and we all know things don't like to stick to gesso. So I'm going to start, and that's all the paper. The background page and the one bit that's around the photo are the only papers that I use. So everything else is an embellishment. So I would definitely say this is 80/20. It might even be more than 80/20. So I love those wood veneer. They're like gold glitter, and that's going to be like a recurring theme around my page. So I get that glued down the side, and then I have the other pumpkin to mimic down in the corner. And now I'm just going through that stash of fall items that I have pulled out and kind of deciding what to use. So I have these old stickers. I think they're K & Company, and they're like very themey, which is, I mean, I do use themey, but I don't know. They just weren't super my style. But actually, you know, it's hard sometimes when you look at a whole sheet and you're like, I don't know. But if I take things individually, I'm like, oh, wait, that does work. So I took off the together word that was brown glitter. And then I think that says all of us. And so that'll like kind of be like a little subtitle down there, and it works. So if I just don't use all of them together to make it too matchy or themey, then it does work with other elements sprinkled in. And so I chose the acorn because it had that maroon color and some maroon flowers to enhance the pumpkins. And I'm really loving how it turns out. I'm really happy with the final layout. And I will add journaling off at the end, probably off camera. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this came out. Make sure that you go check out Sarah's video. She's using clear stickers today, which I know I struggle with that. So I can't wait to see what tips she has for that. And I am just adding my Nuvo adhesive here because these stickers are really old. So always a good idea to make sure they don't fall off. But I'll link down below to Sarah's channel. And she said she's determined to get my my YouTube followers up, and I am totally okay with her mission. So I would love it if you gave me a like and a follow. And yeah, I'm just gonna go through and embellish, and I add those brown flowers just to have a little more contrast because I did want to add some florals around that grateful word. But I didn't want to upset my maroon flower triangles. So that's why I went with a different color flower. And now I'm just gonna add in some little gold jewels, and I think we're about done. So I really thank you guys for watching today, and I hope you're inspired to create with your stash and play with your products and use some of that old stuff up. I was glad of the little dent that I made in my fall stash. So thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.